Hey friends, welcome to my Giant Sunshine Day. This theme is to celebrate you, the bright spot in your life, or what you like about yourself. So I got some gesso going on here, this palette canvas board, and I'm thinking about doing kind of like just a sun theme thing there, and that's why I'm using some DecoArts paints. And I thought about this, and I was thinking, well, the only thing I could think about to do with this to be about myself, because I don't like my art to be about myself more or less, but maybe thoughts. So I shine, one place I do shine is in challenges, and I try to figure them out and what to make them come out to be whatever. So I kind of use that as how do I shine. I shine in trying to beat my challenges or to get the most out of my challenges. So that's why I'm working with this. I kind of went with that. So I just added some gesso and started swirling around the sunshines, the sunbeams and whatever. It's kind of like the bright spot coming up behind this girl. I used her in my last canvas, and I thought I'd photocopy her and use her again. She's much smaller. Last canvas she took up about a quarter of it. And I added wings to her since the last video too. So I'm adding metallic lusters and all sorts of bright colors that would be in the sun. Coppers, purple, not purple, like just pinks and stuff like that you'd think that you'd see in the heat of the sun, or the edges in the skies and that. I got some gold there. So I just use a whole bunch of different metallic lusters like that and wet my brush and get some texture and depth in that. Oh yeah, I do use purple. There's my purple, just at the edges there. So different golds and that. I try to dry them in between, and so that I'm not smearing the other stuff. And I keep going in a circle motion to keep that texture, keep that look, feel that's like the light. So I finish off her wings, and I just keep painting on her. This girl was originally a magazine. Off a magazine, and I altered her, painting her. And then this time, like I said, I took a photocopy of her, changed her size, and I'm going to try to keep her in my theme for this year. So I'm just working around on her wings, giving them texture and make them look a little bit less flat. Just touch-ups here and there, adding color, brightening it up. It seems like the photocopy made her a little bit more darker, so just brightening her up a bit with the same colors I had on her. So I really enjoyed this project. My real goal here was just try to get the sunbeams or the texture behind there really to show that she was something was eliminated behind her, that kind of thing. So I used all sorts of things from paint to Posca pens on this girl. And there I go, painting her skirt, which would be kind of like a feather skirt. I have no idea. I was just kind of working with it in my mind. I felt like I wanted like feathers, but kind of a feathery skirt, because I wanted her little legs underneath there, which I paint now. So yeah, it's interesting. Crazy imagination sometimes. I've been using texture paste on her too, so you'll see that I'm using matte medium texture paste on her eventually here when I get the colors right. So my goal was to make it very textural and do purposely lots of brush strokes, and so when you see it, it looks like she's hand painted and just lots of brush strokes. So touching up where I want to touch up here and there. Get a bit of a yellow all the way around there. School bus, an Americana. So here's, I'm tearing some paper I got in Happy Mail, and I'm using my decoupage from DecoArts to paste that on there. And I just draw around her, cut around where I want the papers. I draw around the paper just so I get the exact fitting, because I don't want over her wings or any parts of her, and just have these sunbeams kind of coming out. And I thought this paper was perfect for this because it was nice yellow and orange tones and a little bit of gold in there to make these neat sunbeams. And I wanted layers as well. I didn't want just plain. I really actually worked hard on getting a lot of texture out of this canvas. This is just the beginning. There's lots of stuff. This one took me an hour and 33 minutes to finish. And of course I had to wait in between times to let the gel, and I also used glass beads on here just to dry in between, and I also used just different products. Sheen decoupage, sheen glue, which is really shiny. So here I'm using some Americana paint, and it is the sprays, misters, and I wanted to blow the yellow down with the heat tool there, because it wasn't dripping down on its own, but I used the heat tool to kind of move it for sun streaks. Really liked it. Fun. So I've obviously sped through this quite quickly for it to be like a 13-minute video, considering it was an hour and 33 minutes that took to make all this. So just a few more streaks here, or drips. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just touching up with Posca pens here and there, getting her face a little bit more white. I use gray also to shade up around her hairline and where normal shades would be. And there we go, on her legs and whatnot. Touch up her lips, because the photocopy did go a little darker, so I wanted to brighten up some of it. And then next I really would start working on the texture of the sunbeam. Actually, I think next I decided to try to add some other designs, but didn't like them too much, so we'll see here. Yes, I decided to use this paint and start adding some design, like scribbles of these flowers, but it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted to. Just to show you though that I did that. And then I ended up cleaning it all off. And I was panicking because I'm like, oh no, all is black. But I ended up cleaning it off, and then I did it again. Started spraying black on there. I didn't like that, so I wiped it off. And then here I go again. I'm adding matte medium in the streaks here to get some streaks looking, and I leave them really like rigid, like lots of ridge on them. And it takes a while to dry, but it's worth it because I just love the look of the sunbeam, like coming out, making that texture on there. You can hear the dogs playing in the background if you hear little paws racing on the couch. So I do her wings as well, make it look textural. I want it to look like it was painted, and her feather skirt, her whole self, her hair and everything. And her face, I did her face, and I kind of keep the paint in the directions of what I would paint if I was painting a face, just to make it look more natural. And then I think I dried up a bit. After I'm drying it up a bit, you can see it's still a little bit white. Now I've got the glass beads. I get a big brush, and I'm just brushing some of those glass beads right out. And there's not tons of them on there, but there's enough. I just love the way it looks. You'll get a good look at it at the end. I show it pretty well. I think the beads pick up some nice glare or something, and I like it. So it's quite a bit of layers in there already, and I'm really happy with that. Here I think I add a little bit of gold, and it's like a shimmery gold with the elegant finish from DecoArt, and I just put a little bit, almost a dry brush of it, just a little streaks coming out more. Some of them go on the beads, but the beads are not totally covered. I wipe some of them off that I think they're too much, if there's too much on them. And that's what I'm doing, getting more streaks in there. At this point, I have to let it dry before I do any more after this here. And then I think I did that. Oh yeah, I probably did let it dry. Anyways, I was adding crown here, and this is just a paper, it's not paper, it's like a clay, paper clay, that's what I'm looking for, the word, paper clay crown, and I painted it gold, and I have a little bit of purple on there from metallic lusters. I end up putting a little bit of black on it at the end. Don't know if you can see it in the picture, just to, when I touch it, just a little bit on the high points. And that's it, throwing a little purple here and there, and just whatever's touching on my glass beads, grab a little bit of that. And then I'm going to put a little scribble around, because I just wanted to pull in a little bit of black, because she's so black, her feathers. And so I do a little bit of a border with that, just a scribble. And that's about it. I put my initials and my date on there. I hope you guys like this one. It was my big goal and my big challenge that I really wanted to come out was all that texture in the background. So I'm going to show you that here. Show the texture. Look at all that texture there. It's just really pretty. And you can see there's lots of dimension in her feathers and that too. There's the glass beads, all that streaking, and you still see the paint that I went in the circle behind there too. It's really cool. So you got kind of that feel of a tunnel of light behind her as well. Hope you guys liked this. Thanks for watching.